Wholesome and Wild, Folláin is Fiáin. Sacred Messages, Eolas, Naofa, a special podcast series with Kathleen Farren and Sandra Saradesi. Welcoming our guest, Carrie Rowan. Welcome to Sacred Messages, special podcast series as part of Wholesome and Wild. And we're so delighted to be welcoming Carrie Rowan. Thank you for coming. Carrie joins us from the Zenbar Healing Studio in Oakville, Ontario. And Sandra Saradesi and myself, Kathleen Farren, are honoured to be sharing our experiences and our explorations of this new protocol called the Fountain of Plenitude, which we're happy to be inviting you to participate with on the 1st of June 2021 is the next one where you get live support, and that means distance healing. And it's a whole package, and it includes all the senses getting gifts through the fragrance, alchemy, oils, and through the sigils and through the affirmations, and it visits all of your meridians and your organs. All of this happens in 28 days, and so hopefully you're getting a feel for it through our series of conversations. And I'm really curious to see how Carrie has benefited from this and any particular insights that she's gleaned. Sandra, you know Carrie for a good while now, and you've enjoyed her amazing Zenbar Healing Studio, which is a most successful business where people come out nourished and want more. That's what I feel about it.
You are on point. Actually, I would say they don't even want to come out if they feel like how I feel. They don't even want to come out. There is some magic that is spread from the beautiful heart of Carrie. That this is how I met her and we became friends. And this is back in 2014. And very rapidly, we grew up in a close friendship, and she even visited me in Portugal. And it was, she started experiencing the meridian massage when we were together, and she would really enjoy the acupressure points and applying the oils. And we just shared 1 week, but that after that, when I was coming to Canada, to Oakville, we would spend time together. And I also had the privilege of offering some meridian massage sessions at Zenbar. And we had the oils from Fragrance Alchemy for sale there for a while. So Carrie has been a great advocate for the protocol of the meridian massage. And just recently, she did very passionately and disciplined. She joined for the Fountain of Plenitude Phase 1 this year. So I'm inviting her not because she's my friend. I invited her because I know that she experienced deep changes. She enjoyed it, and she has a lot to say. I would like to hear her own words. How was the overall experience? If there's anything that stands out for you from the 28 days, my love.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I think every now and then you just need to be touched by a little magic, like especially this last couple of years, or the last year, I guess, where everyone's just energetically down. And I talked to Sandra about it, and she said, come join the Fountain of Plenitude. So I went in a little bit blind, not actually knowing, typical Sandra, what I had signed up for, but worked out to be a beautiful experience that I actually look forward to every day. To me, I am someone who likes commitment. So I like that there was a set period of time, and I like that there was a routine to it. And actually my favorite part was getting on the phone calls or message, sorry, not phone calls. Sandra would send an email every day with her voice, her energy, her love, and it kind of tied up what we had worked on that day. And for me, it was a very positive experience.
Yeah. Yeah, like I figure you must have experience of a lot of therapies, because you own such a large company with many different approaches. You must have tasted or had a taste of different ones. So this one stands out, and I also did it as well this year. And the soothing voice and the nourishing big heart of Sandra, just every morning was one of my favorites as well. Yeah.
There was one, the first time I received Sandra's healing was I was suffering actually with Lyme disease, and I'm generally a pretty healthy person. It was something that caught me totally off guard, and it really affected my sleep and my mental clarity. And Sandra was someone magical that I think came into my life for many reasons, but during that time, there was something that really helped me. And Sandra will remember this, when I hadn't slept for, I think it was 5 or 6 days. And she did Belvespatar on me, which at the time I knew nothing about. I didn't know what was happening. And we were in a park. I was laying on the ground in a park, and I fell fast asleep. We're talking on pebbles, rocks. I don't know. We didn't plan it, so there wasn't blankets laid out or anything. And I think at that point, my mind really opened to the whole idea.
Yeah. So, Carrie, you had been introduced to some of the aspects of the whole protocol. You had been introduced to the 12 meridians through the oils, the massage that you mentioned. And you had also been introduced to Belvespatar. So you kind of knew what the resonant field, what the resonance was. And I'm really curious actually to go within right now, right from the start. So it's within your own being that you get that resonance. The frequency changes you. Well, I say the frequency, but the joining of all the different aspects of the Fountain of Plenitude is things that you've experienced one at a time, and it's transformative of your being, your body, your emotions, and so much. I'm curious just to go straight into how does it feel? How did it feel to be lying on the most unlikely place to fall asleep, a public park? And like, what is the deep feeling within that is so profound about Belvespatar, for example, or the Fountain of Plenitude?
I don't know that you can ever put your finger on magic. I don't know that there's a way to explain it. I always say to people who may, there's so many people who doubt this sort of thing because they want concrete scientific evidence, for lack of a better word, but something concrete. And I don't think this can be put into concrete. I always say, I don't know what Sandra does, but I know that there's something magical there. And I felt rested enough to fall asleep when I hadn't slept in days and couldn't sleep and couldn't calm this inner turbulence. And that was really one of my first introductions to a real wow factor. But I think it's just a nice calmness, a nice, especially doing the protocol for 28 days. I think there is something nice about knowing, because often in things we jump in, we jump out, or we jump in, we get busy, we get off to something else, and you don't give your body or your mind or your spirit a chance to really settle into something new. And that's what I really liked about, one of the many things I liked about it.
So you say, like, you would be generally, if you're busy. So was the dedication from the start, or did it grow as you went along?
During the protocol?
Mm-hmm.
From the start. My personality is just, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it really well, and I'm going to jump in and give it my whole heart. And I did right from the beginning, and I stuck with it right till the end. I didn't miss a day. I didn't miss time. I dedicated time to it. And for me, it was there are benefits to this last year. And I think one of the benefits is we have a little bit more downtime. and a little bit more time for ourselves. And maybe we would dedicate time right now that we might not always have the time or the mental quiet to give. So for me, it was great timing, and it was something that really resonated.
Mm. Mhm. Well, what about others in your circle? Did they notice a change, or did they change? Or did your relationships change with I mean, ultimately this is a purifying kind of thing. It releases things that have been blocking your free flowing emotion of, you know, the pure emotions. The Belvaspita brings this pure emotion. Um, I mean, you know the pears better than I, Sandra, but the cleansing. So it means that things can be different now because you're able to flow. I mean, it sounds maybe lofty and massive, but have you noticed that happening?
I think change is subtle for me. I think if you were in a very rough position to start, you might end up having something specific with a goal in mind that you might be able to measure it a little bit more accurately. For me, it was just overall emotional and spiritual well-being during a time that was a little bit unknown. So I think my changes were more subtle, but I definitely felt them.
And do you have a favorite part that if you can recall now, or a new thing? Was there anything new?
All of it is new, because the facial protocol was brand new to me. I'd never actually used a facial roller, but I really genuinely like it, and I enjoyed that. The oils, the 4 oils that are sent in the kit, are also brand new. I had not worked with those oils before, and they were beautiful, and the positioning of the oils was also new. And of course, the meridian concept wasn't new to me, but focusing on one meridian per day was a different concept, and I think something that that does work well.
Yeah, and when it came to repeating them repeating the whole process, we went through the 12 meridians and then we went through them again. I was grateful for that because it's getting to know yourself in a new way. Yeah, yeah.
I agree. I think the first time through anything, you're sort of stumbling, you're not sure, especially the first couple, because you weren't sure where it was leading. So to redo those first few again felt necessary.
Well, I'm going to add a little bit of what I noticed in you, Carrie, with the before, the during, and the after. And yes, you're right, because you have it was like an add-on and uplifting you to another level. It's not like I can say something particularly that now you have a more harmonious here there. It's like an overall expansiveness. But I also felt that it came exactly at the time when you were trying to have more inner peace. And this is what I feel that was the greatest gift, if I can put it into words, would be inner peace. This is what I feel it gave you, the protocol.
Yes, I would agree.
Yes. So, and I also, I also want to say that she has 2 beautiful children, and one in particular is very drawn to the oils. And do you want to tell us what else does I do? Like
Sure.
listening to the music and all of that. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, Ty was my oldest son was exposed to Sandra at a really young age. Like I want to say he was 4, I think 4. And she applied the oil to his feet one evening before bed, and he loved it. And he's a very light child. He always likes meditating and lighting incense before bed, and he's a gentle spirit, but he really resonates with the entire Balvaspata, the entire oil assortment. He really likes oils, and he got a magical package from Sandra in the mail at Christmas time with some oils in it. So he's been applying those. I wouldn't say every night because he's just a young guy still, but he definitely loves it, and it's part of when he gets into his meditation corner. That's part of his ritual, which he loves.
He's only 10.
He's 11.
11, excuse me, he would not like that.
Yeah, well, time's flying too fast. Yeah, now he's 11.
Yes.
Sandra, I think one of your gifts is an insight into children. I mentioned my children to you, and you were able to suggest which oil would be suitable for where. And that's really, I really appreciate that, because like when you're I think being a parent is like you're learning all the time on the spot as you go, and we haven't always we don't live in a village in the same way we used to, so the wisdom of the different healing approaches isn't always to hand. So I just want to appreciate that our children, exposing them to this is really, really beneficial, because it'll speak to them. It'll just speak to them like the oil speaks to your child. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really value that mentorship. So when a person is introduced to a child and there's a lifelong mentoring of sorts, it's really valuable. You know,
Yeah.
Our own lives change when we meet someone who we resonate with or who sees us. That's the thing. Someone who really, really sees you, gives you time and space to be heard, and then you hear yourself. Some of these are gifts, such gifts. So highlighting and valuing the gifts is something I'm very happy to do, and I'm very grateful. Actually, the time you spoke to me, when this only 2 weeks ago this video series came to mind or to heart, I was sitting outside, and I had no pen and paper to hand, so I grabbed the chalk that I had been drawing with on the sidewalk outside our house here, and I just wrote all these words like volcano and heart and all along the edge of the wooden table. And it was like you were advising this for that child in my household and this for that person in my life. And because I didn't want to forget, because I know how effective the lotus oil is on the joints, for example, or the rose oil is on the heart. And the rose oil, I think the rose oil was part of this protocol where you put it on your head, I think. I'm not sure.
Can you give me a little pause there?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
it's funny. I think I said that last night or this morning, about the protocol for the 13 meridians with the rose oil. I was actually part of bringing that information with Almin. I don't know if I share with you, but it was in Ohio, and we had gone to Macy's, the group of girls, and we say, oh, we're going to, well, everybody goes and do their own shopping. We meet at the door at 9, but I am like super fast, and I bought my stuff. I was ready, and suddenly I'm waiting, and I noticed I'm in the middle of the perfume department, and I thought, what am I doing here? This is crazy. Out of all the departments, it's like I was in another reality, and then suddenly I realized I was in the middle of the perfume. So I was like this, waiting, and suddenly I go, what is this? It was a display of boxes, like a mountain of boxes from Harley Davidson, and the name of the perfume they were like promoting, Skull and Roses. I was like, oh my God, there is huge information here. I can feel it. Wow. I can't wait to tell Amin. So that was on a Thursday. The last day of the retreat was on a Friday. And of course, I don't write anything because I trust that it will come up if it's important. So around 2:30, I remember, and we finishing at 5. And I said, well, this is what happened to me. And I feel that there is information about the skull and the roses. And she turns her head to the right, so into the future, as we know. And she did this, and she comes back like this. She says, I'm going to write the protocol on the break. We've been working with the meridians of the body. We have totally neglected the meridians of the head. And then she gave us the sigils so that everybody can trace it without angel names. Because if they have angel names, angel gods names, then you have to be initiated. So in this manner, everybody can benefit with the 13 points. And also what was really magical is that on that retreat, I had a client that I had shipped oils to Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. And one of the oils spilled in the mail or something. So she had asked me if I can, send her a new one. So I went to talk to Ronnie, who is the owner or in charge of the Alchemy, the fragrance Alchemy. And I said, well, this happened. He says, do you want lotus oil or you want rose? And rose is significantly more expensive. He says, you can have rose if you want. I said, no, my client wants the lotus. He said to me, oh, I have so much rose oil right now. I don't know what to do with it. And I was like, immediately, oh, I wish I could do something for you. Rose oil off the shelf. So I totally have forgotten, how all these magical synchronistic moments and things that happens when it's your moment to shine on the stage. I've been off the stage for a long time again, and now it looks like it's time to do a little bit more of staging. So it's just like what Amin says, if all the instruments would play at once, the instrument of the symphony, there would be no music, there would be just noise. So we have to take our moments to play our instruments and lay back, and then do this pas de deux, as she says as well.
Yeah, when you asked what my experience was, I understand what Sandra's saying. Sometimes you need a little push to get back into the flow. And the times where you're in the flow and there's a lot of ease, there's a lot of comfort, not that you're comfortable, because I think you can always push yourself, but you're in the flow of life. And there are synchronistic moments and things like that. And these type of protocols can sometimes give you that push back into the flow when you've kind of been in that rest mode.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I like that the rose oil can be done by anybody who feels drawn to do it.
Yes. Like, how many people ask me, Sandra, what can I do? I have such a migraine, such a headache. I send them the PDF. If you have the rose oil, it's even better. You can, do the acupressure points with a sigil, and it's very simple. In 5 minutes, in 3 minutes, you're done.
Mm.
Because there is a distortion that is going on. That's what a pain is. It's something unreal trying to take over the real.
Wow. Oh, cool. So everybody's into being authentic. So if we are real, then we're not carrying the pain. I mean, we really are heading to a time where we can live without pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or we're in it.
You're touching something we haven't touched in the previous interviews, and this is very important. One of the gifts is of the protocol, the Fountain of Plenitude, phase 1, because each one has a different mandate, but the phase 1 is to drop the mask. So you become not more authentic, you become you. That's what it is. Authenticity is your pure essence expressed without filters. Yeah. Without trying to accommodate your audience. Actually, the audience must accommodate to you. It's like there's absolutely no point in trying to make anyone happy. You never succeed. And it's just a waste of time.
But you don't want to give yourself a hard time for wasting time, because that was perfect then. You know?
I'm not sure if I'm getting everything you're saying. Tell me that again.
So the point, the thing I mean, this is there is a profound change happening in the world, and it so happens that this Fountain of Plenitude is happening at the same time. And when you become more truly yourself, or more authentic, and you realize you had a few masks or blocks or whatever they were, that like there is part of it is this self-compassion, that even though you've spent that much of your lifetime, which is in the past, which therefore is gone, and you know, part of it is letting go of the past, right? You don't want to give yourself a hard time for not having got it right up to now. I mean, that's more sabotage, which is not really part of what we're talking about. I don't know,
No.
Carrie, if you're able to follow this wild meandering train of thought, but I think I'm trying to flesh out the experience of the whole thing.
Yes. Unlock it, please, because
Unlock it.
I know what you're saying. Yes. And while you were talking, it's not that you're gonna let go of your past and have no memories, but the difference between of what you should keep and what you should let go is keeping the feelings and the emotions without attaching it, without cording it to a specific person or place. So it's just like keeping the pure essence of the experience.
Yeah, more yourself and less your identities, your roles. Yeah,
Precisely.
your masks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Relief.
Yes. We're going somewhere. Last shuttle.
Well, aren't we always evolving, right? That's how I think of life, is we're on a constant path of evolution and evolving within ourselves, within our soul. So being able to drop things that aren't necessarily required anymore is a perfect exercise to allow new beautiful things in.
Perfect.
Yes.
And just saw it outside. I was looking at the oak tree, and I was just celebrating the oak tree, this little young tree in front of our house. And I can look down and see these little new leaves growing. And there was an old leaf from last year just hanging in there, you know, but most of the old leaves have dropped. So those metaphors are everywhere in nature. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And I think I feel part of the dropping of the mask is like dropping the shield of separation between me, you, and my environment, because I have noticed that even the animals are like doing what I tell them. It's really funny. In here, in this part of the world where I am right now, it like there is this it's like a community. Like they don't care. They think you are an animal, or they think I'm a human, or they think they're humans. I don't even know what it is, but they're totally fearless. They just show up. They don't care. Like I had a mini Komodo dragon like this dropped in my bathroom after a Belvaspata session the other day, and I wasn't scared of him at all. Then a cockroach showed up in my bathtub, and I go and talk to her. I said, I told you not to be here because I'm gonna kill you. What are you an idiot? You want to be killed? She ran. And I didn't even move, nothing. I was just talking like 2 meters. Things like this, the geckos, and the ceilings are like pyramids, so they hang out from the top, and they start like eliminating. And if you're lucky, they eliminate in between your legs. If not, So I'm just telling you all the visual because I was like so upset. I said, don't do this ever again. And they haven't, they actually moved. So all these little nuances are speaking about that I'm really hurt because there is no shield. There's no mask. There's no division. And the birds, they try to come in, they hit the glass, like all these kind of things. And it's a phenomenon around the world. But I have noticed that I talk to them, I don't want to see you again. If I see you again, you know, you're dead. So they really disappear. They run. I don't know. I don't understand how this is happening, but this was not there before. So it's a lot of amazing and magical things are like really happening. So as we come into oneness with ourselves, then the oneness without ourselves is also there.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen Carrie laughing today, and we had also about a month ago, we had an exchange on text messages, and I was telling her exactly what she was asking. Something like this was, right? That you were meditating and you asked for something. And then out of the blue, I was telling her as if I was to be answering her request.
Yeah, there's some synchronistic moments happening between us for sure. Always.
Yes.
Always.
This is the empathic and telepathic communication is the most effective. And Almin has said that the Arturians, when she received the transmissions from the Arturians, that they would give her a painting and a verbal message, because the painting would like fill in the blanks. So communication is accurate. So I started to practice this with my loved ones that, okay, I'm going to be talking, but I'm going to be sending you pictures at the same time with my third eye so that you can really tune into what I'm telling you. Is that fun? You got to have a big library of paintings.
You're an unlimited creator, Sandra.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes. Yes, yes. Absolutely. We can
I think
access.
children do that. I'd say children do that. Or the child within does that.
She's very childlike.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know, yes.
I try to be childlike with you. I succeed most
No.
of the time.
No, I think you already are. Just come and you play with me. No, this is your natural self. When you're not like this, it means that you're not fully expressing.
Well, I think that's the idea of doing things like this protocol is life drags down the inner child. That's actually a great way to put it. The life drags down the lightness of spirit, and sometimes you just need that little boost to get you back into the light spirit that you were born to be. That is a nice way to look at it. Yeah, and I would say that is something that that would be a noticeable outcome. Different.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Which goes along with the anti-aging too, right? That you talk about, that lightness in your spirit translates to the lightness in your physical.
Yes, exactly. So there is no stagnation. There is fluidity, which is the gift of self-regeneration. And people are looking for euthenin, and euthenin has a point of arrival. Okay, today I'm young. And then maybe tomorrow, and maybe 3 more days. And then what are you gonna do when there is no more rejuvenation? Wow. If we stay in this perpetual self-regeneration, which comes with the wonderment of a child, exactly how you're saying it, with the lightness of being, with discovering every moment, with finding newness, with seeing with new eyes, which is actually brings me memories of one of my first testimonials when I was doing Belvaspata healing sessions. I had so many people telling me the colors are so bright, which is, I don't hear this. It's like it changes, but it changes the tone, the note when we are. But in the beginning, I used to receive this testimonial, something that what is really telling, what is the story? What is the message here? Is like, life is vibrant. Life is magical. You know, if you have like these colors that are dull, opaque, as opposed to suddenly you're seeing like in, you know, when you go and alter the filter on a picture and you go in the Clarendon, I think is one of my favorites. It's like almost neon, bad. It's like electric. So it's there, it's alive. So this is what all of this brings us back to our true essence, to our true nature, to how we were created. And one of my favorite quotes of Famini is like, may you be all that you were created to be. When I heard this, it's like, I'm parking over here. May you be all that you were created to be. So, you know, she's not saying, may you fulfill your purpose and may you fulfill your mission and may you shine and you write books and own an island and, you know, drive a Ferrari, no, it's not about that. It's about what you were created to be. And each one of us were created to be something unique. So it's amazing how much peace you can find when you stop thriving.
What was the last thing you said? It's amazing how much peace you can find when you
Stop thriving. Thriving.
striving.
Is it thriving or I thought it's thriving? The word.
Trying, when you stop trying.
No, when you stop going after a goal.
Oh yeah, yeah, having it in a package before you, yeah, deciding
Yes.
what it's going to be. Yeah.
This is very electric, a very masculine way of living. This is in the old paradigm, and this is what we're doing here, is like busting all the belief systems and the paradigms that you have to go and get it. I have received the most when I don't do anything more than allow myself to receive.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean that I'm not proactive, but I allow spaces to receive.
Yeah. You know, there's so much goes on during the 28 days. It's hard to pinpoint anything. But also, I was during that, I think it's all related, drawn to do other healing practices. So once you begin to become more aware, you the serendipities come and you know you start to flow so that life is a consistently magical experience. And it's like you allow yourself to play, to be more playful. You're open to fun new things happening, you know. It's like you can access that part of you that's the spark, you know, that's living, that living spark. I'd love to hear more from Carrie because I'm sure you have something more to say about uh, you know, I know it's spring where you are, and it's spring is a time of seeing new things, opening to new things. Like, have you any nature connection experiences that you want to share?
I'm always connected to nature.
Yeah.
I grew up in the country, so uh, the the most I can be in nature is great for my soul, for my spirit, and for my physical too. I find it's important for me. So actually, this is my perfect time of year because everything's starting to bloom and to blossom. And luckily, I don't have any allergies or anything that upsets that process. So I I spend a lot of time north, and you're right, it's a time of new beginnings and dropping things that don't work anymore and making room for new, making room for and making room to play. And when you were talking, I was thinking, isn't that just the purpose of life, to allow yourself space and permission to play? And the spring kind of feels like that time for me, and more summer. I'm ahead. My mind, summer's coming now. But it is almost here. As soon as you can plant some beautiful gardens and stuff, I think it all starts. But I will say, lately I've been very, very drawn to, which I feel a lot of people have been, is a self-sustained existence. And a lot of my time and my fun has been working with seeds, with gardens, with planting, with the way Sandra's talking to animals. I've been talking to plants, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a nice diversion from day-to-day grind. I will say that.
Absolutely. Seeds are so exciting. They start so small, and then I too am growing food. And that they facilitate the next one. So they open up and then the next leaf opens up. And I love that too, the babies.
And just so that it can nourish you. I don't know, I'm sounding a little kooky right now, like a plant lady, but I have these seeds that I'm growing. I'm growing every week, and I go and I talk to them and I look at the potential, and then to see them go through to the point where you can actually nourish yourself from something that you assisted in creating and assisted to bring to life. I'm really loving it. It's my it's something I kind of touched on before, but I'm really allowing myself to explore it now.
Yeah, there's a reverence, a deep reverence that goes with it. I think the slower pace of life that we're living this past year, and getting your priorities right, and nourishing yourself and caring for yourself is all lining up for experiences like that. I took a picture of the first salad that I ate from the leaves that grew from seeds here this week.
Nice.
And
Delicious.
yeah.
And Sandra and I are both vegetarian. I don't know about you, but I've been living raw vegan now for a little bit as well. And I think the lightness, it's very hard to do in Canada in the winter. I will tell you that it's a struggle. But now coming into spring and summer, I find that my body craves light. Just some, I find a raw vegan lifestyle right now works, and it's easier to maintain, and my plants will all come in handy.
Oh yeah. Give us a favorite dish that has fruit in it. What would be one of your recipes that you like?
To be honest, there's no fruit in Canada right now. It's a very tricky time, and I try to avoid eating a lot of imported goods when I can. But one thing I'm very much enjoying is my family has something called the Rowan dill dip. And it's of course made with mayonnaise, and I don't even know what's in there, sour cream and all kinds of stuff that I can't eat. So I set out to kind of mimic this in a raw vegan way. And I use hemp seeds and lemon, one date, and like fresh lemon juice, and a few spices and herbs, and of course some dill. And this has become my thing. I just can eat it on everything, like that on an avocado with half an avocado and some lettuce that I grow inside in my hydroponic garden is beautiful for me. I know obviously avocados are imported, but I feel really good about it. It feels like I'm nourishing my body and spirit.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds great. It sounds like it's a spread. Yeah, it's a spread.
It's a dip / dressing. I'd say it's
Yeah.
more of a dressing, but a thick dressing, like the consistency of, say, ranch.
And also the date is
Blue
really,
cheese
really
ranch.
nourishing. Blue cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that kind of thing, which when you love cheese like I do and you can't eat the cheese, you have to replace that with something else. So this I found, this is just, and you go and I'll probably eat so much of this that I'll want to be eating it in a couple months, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll eat it forever. I don't know. But I find that and some greens, and I'm growing on my own in my hydroponic garden. That's how I'm getting my greens now. And I
Is
just
that indoors, the hydroponic? Yeah.
indoor. Yeah. Yeah, I went a little crazy this year.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
It's fun.
So since we're sharing recipes, I'm gonna share my recipe for today. Is we get delivered fresh coconuts at the door
Oh, stop
every
making us
day.
jealous.
And then you open the coconut, extract the whole meat or flesh and of the coconut. No meat in this conversation. It's just like the inside of the coconut. That's better. And then you put it in the blender and make your own coconut milk and pour it into little dishes or glasses and just drop chia seeds in the fridge. Voila.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, I get the whole wanting to buy local food thing, and I really admire that about you, that even though you could Carrie, go to the shop and get anything you want in Canada, that you're preferring to choose as much local as you can.
Or something I've created. I think there's something nice about it. It's sort of a personal challenge. I'm not obsessed with it, but it's nice to be able to go in and take your scissors and cut off something fresh that you created. It just and that's the best we can do here. I mean, Sandra, to be able to go outside and get the fruit right off the tree that was picked 2 hours ago at the market is, to me, is like heaven. But obviously with my restrictions here, it's a little tricky. But I'll tell you, Sandra, on that note, you can take your coconut flesh, your milk, your coconut water, blend it like you've been doing, add 1 probiotic capsule and let it sit for 4 hours, and it turns into a living yogurt.
Okay, I don't think I can find that in here. Probiotic capsule.
Right, maybe not.
Yeah, the making your own kefirs and things like that is brilliant. I mean, that's the whole thing. You get to know your body better and better and better with all of these protocols, and then they give you direction to the next one. You know, you can see more clearly, or you can feel more definitely what's right for your body.
And dream more about coconuts falling from the heavens to me.
Yeah, yeah, you never know.
I grew up, I want to be Sandra.
Yes. And actually, for the first time, I tried the small coconut today. So I had 2 small and a big one, and oh, it's delicious. And you know, when you eat with such a level of gratitude and food really takes you into the path of bliss, that is also another experience into enlightenment. So this is why it is important how we choose to nourish ourselves, our body, because it is intrinsically connected with our soul.
So strange that you just brought this up, because last night I was having a little trouble sleeping and I listened to a podcast, and it was about the concept of nourishing, and that we always think of nourishing as the body, which of course is important and we've been talking about, but it was also talking about nourishing the mind, and how what we put in, not just in the body, but through friendships, through conversations, through what we read, through what we view, people who are watching the news, just receiving all of that into their spirit. I think that's just, there's a mental awareness that's required of what does my soul need, not what does my body need to survive, but what does my soul need to survive too. And sometimes we have to be cautious of what we're putting in, especially these days with some friction and some animosity happening in the world. It's important to put some good stuff in, which is back to your protocol, why I think things like this are so important, because it's totally inner work. We're nourishing every day for 28 days. You are getting a dose of happy. What you choose to do with that happy is up to you. But you're dedicating the time and the space to accept that and to nourish your body with good, and nourish your mind and your soul and your heart and everything. And as we talked about, lightness inside means lightness outside, and it all comes together.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Thank you. I truly feel that. I truly feel your being speaking.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, awareness is definitely growing, and we're in a much better place than we were before and yesterday. And even if people try to say whatever it is, but these levels of awareness, these levels of knowing how much we all have benefit by the slowing down. That's one of the things, coming home to the self. People really not forced, but encouraged to have more of an inward life.
Yeah.
So all of this is like the protocol is just supporting what is out there so that you can enjoy the experience that you've been giving. So the experience, that life that the world is giving you in the outer, you can actually transmute that and bring it to, we were talking in the previous interview. Was it the previous interview that we were talking about the serotonin, or was last night?
Serotonin. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Just
serotonin, the hormone, the feel happy, feel good hormone that is promoted with the protocol. Do you want to say something around that again? I don't know where we had this, but I know it came up,
it was
right? But
before lunch, you know, it was just a few hours ago. Yeah, that the serotonin is released when you work with the 12 um, states of harmlessness, which is part of
yes,
this. You're introduced to one and the 12 meridians, and that those together um, enhance the serotonin. And I'm not a scientist, but I know I can feel it. You know, it's like nothing is difficult now. Now that you when you get a taste of what's possible, it's kind of hard to go backwards. You know, just
mm-hmm.
as a matter of interest, during the lunch break, I went out and I planted a bean plant that needed to be planted, and this is one that I'm going to save the seeds from. And I went to the well, got some water, and there was a frog there. So all of these things are so totally enjoyable and part of the slowed down life. And it's kind of it changed things are changing now from dread and drudgery because there's so much of an invitation, like you listen to the news and it's there, to genuine experiences of hope and happy as the you know, there's no need to be in drudgery when you know that hope is part of your natural state of being. And I know that because I've done the work, which turns out to be play, or to allow you to play more.
It was funny and fascinating that the choice of words, you can choose the D's or you can choose the H. Which one are you gonna choose?
Ha ha ha.
Yes, indeed. I'm
And
going for the H.
in the Irish language, Carrie, you were mentioning you have some Irish ancestry. The D is it is as it sounds. It's blocking. It's d. It's donna, dorcha. Donna is bad, and dorcha is dark. And the opposite is sonna and suracha, lightness. Or sausta, happiness is sausta, and dorcha and suracha is brightness. Anyway, just
Very
a,
nice.
Oh,
just an
that
aside.
reminds me of solstice. Solsta is like solstice.
Mm. Greenstad, sunstop, Greenstad. Yeah.
Wow. Is this Gaelic we're speaking now?
Sha.
I like where this is going. Why do
On
you?
Gaeilge. Yeah, just like the Aboriginal languages, indigenous languages often have the vowels. The vowels are where the soul language uh, transports through, you know. So there's a lot of vowels. Áthas, happiness. Sásta. Gra is love. Ah is the heart opening. So,
Oh, yes. Good.
yeah. That's what happens when you get into a fountain of plenitude.
Yes.
But I think there's plenty of room now for more of the poetic and more of the expressive, creative arts. And the art of living, I think, is one thing we referred to recently. So,
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, how do you live a wholesome life? If I was to spring a question on you, what does a wholesome life look like, and what kind of practices are you integrating that might be wholesome or
Hmm.
holistic, not broken and not separated?
Yeah, I think I'm noticing that life is ebbs and flows and phases and twists and turns. And right now I'm in a stage where I have two little guys, and my time with them is really precious. So for me, a holistic life is my boys, and all the things we do together and I do to create a beautiful home for them and to keep them connected to nature. But I actually am a free spirit in real life. That's why I think Sandra and my heart has always been connected. And I would flit away to, if I didn't have my boys to root me down here, I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't know where I would be doing it. But my toes would be in the dirt somewhere and my hands would be in the dirt. And I just, that's the true essence of me. So to me, that is a holistic life. I do try to get as close to that as I can while I live my life with my business and my children and wear all these different hats. But I have all my pets wandering around here, and I spend my a lot of my weekends up north with the fresh air and the country, and that is really important to me. And of course, I can't get my hands in the soil in winter, but I told you I'm trying my best with my gardens inside, and creating. I love creating. I love dreaming. I love planning. I love seeing things come. I think that's part of why I've always loved business. But even that will ebb and flow as well. But I think that's always why I've loved that is it's a vision that comes to me that I create into something tangible.
Kind
That's
of
exciting. But I
watch
do,
this space.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a piece of artwork, but it's a business, which doesn't really, a lot of people can't understand that. But I think when you walk into a space that's been created like art, which I hope people feel when they're at Zenbar, that you feel the difference. Like every detail, it tells a story. And when you're there, I always say you'll forget what time of day it is. You'll forget whether it's raining, whether it's winter, whether it's summer. You want to just go into a different world. So it's a little bit of that's my art of the moment. My art of
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow might be something completely different, but
Mm-hmm.
it will be something.
Oh, it's beautiful to listen to. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, and
Kathleen, she offers these pedicures. As I try to explain across the globe wherever I go, my friend has this place. You may think you're having a pedicure, but simultaneously you're going off the galaxies in these mega chairs. They're about like a rocket. You don't even know what's happening to you in there. It's like really massive experience. So when we have this full presence, we can really extract the juice of the juice and live fully. Having a pedicure, I'm going into the vastness of the galaxies and the cosmos.
Mhm.
So it is like enjoying everything that is here in the moment that can be only done when you have cleared the rivers of your meridians from the 48 distorted emotions.
yeah, self-mastery. That's one of the intentions of living the insights of harmlessness that we touch on with this.
Yes.
Yeah, self-mastery.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think watch this space. I would love to keep in touch, Carrie, and see, like, do you share anything on the social media at all?
For Zenbar specifically, are you saying?
Well, Sembar and yeah, yeah. Anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah, there's zenbarhealing.com is our website, and yeah, we do. I mean, I would love to say I'm more present on social media, but I'm not so much. But
You're out playing.
there's information on there for sure.
Yeah.
I see these people who every day have a time to post this and post that, or not time, but the discipline to do it. And for me, I wouldn't say that's really my
Yeah, no, it comes and flows. But yeah, thank you for sharing your presence and your you demonstrated the having fun with life and also the discipline that you have. That's really you'd be a good influence on me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been very, very nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Sandra.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay, bye for now. We'll do the bell. Where's that lovely bell?
Okay, my vision of love.